Hey, and we're back. Welcome everyone to the Horrific Talk Spot.
What's up, guys?
But it's been a week. It's like we're making regular content all of a sudden. It's like
Right?
we're going to appear on the interwebs on a regular basis, and people are going to like maybe see us.
I know it's crazy. We even got stories and
I
shit to
know
read. It's
it
fantastic.
is like feast or famine with this podcast. Almost people are either like
Yeah.
inundated, and then it's trying to get through everything, and then obviously when you've got a load of
Mhm.
stuff you don't want to put out to people because you want to kind of catch up, and then it goes to a dry spell, and then it blows up again. It's like just nice,
Oh yeah,
be
love
lovely,
it.
just nice, consistent pattern. But hey ho, we do what we do. But yeah, we were just talking last week. Actually, we introduced a new spot with our buddy Adam, Haunted Grove. So if you have a look, check that out.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be an interesting one, especially with how random it'll
But
be.
that's the problem with this. Like we've obviously locked in because we want to have a bit of a structure to this show, but it doesn't
Mhm.
leave us much room for like just doing random shit. I know we could, but then it kind of destroys the format.
Mhm.
And kind of don't want to do that
Mhm.
because then you can't really plan if you're just doing things ad hoc. But having an extra segment where we can throw in random stuff, like if there's more than one release a month, you know what I mean, we can't spend 6 hours sitting here for, you know what I mean, unfortunately we've got lives. Unless you were sitting
Yeah,
here
stupid
tipping us, you
lives.
know, so we didn't have to work. That would be cool, but one can dream, but then you have the whole other balls ache of people, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, good to get up for the new year. Bit of a slow start just with everything going on, but we're up, we're started, we're going again. Movies are coming out. Looks like we've actually got things in the pipeline. Did you hear about the Salem's Lot remake in the plans for this year?
Mhm. Yeah, we'll see what happens with it. Did you ever get a chance to watch Chapel's Way
Chapel
or
Wait?
Chapel Way?
No. What?
Dude. So if you've ever watched or read
Oh yeah,
Jerusalem's Lot, the
Jerusalem's
short
Lot from.
story
I've read
that
that. Yeah,
is the
that was a
predecessor or the
like
prequel.
prequel to.
Yeah, so basically that's like one of the most boring fucking short stories of Stephen King's. Like, and I'm a Stephen King fan. Like, I fucking worship this man. That is a struggle to get through. Chapel Wait, holy fuck, is it good? Like, if you get a chance, definitely check it out. Like, Adrian Brody is just
Actually, that
phenomenal
story,
in
I
it.
thought the Lawnmower Man was the boring story, and that was the one he made the big fuss about. And I thought the film did a better job. Out of
Mhm.
those, you know, that was a Graveyard
Mhm.
Shift was the whole collection.
Mhm.
Graveyard, yeah.
Yeah, Graveyard Shift is what it was
Um,
in. Yeah.
it was a bit hit and miss. I found the whole thing, but it even said at the start these were notes he had from when he was like 19, and publisher finally said, "Look, you need to put all this stuff
Hmm.
into, you know, a collection." So he did. So I think when he put that out, he didn't really give a shit. I mean, he's already put his time
Yeah.
and energy into his universe, and these are all like scraps of stuff, and you can kind of tell when you read it that they were like half formed ideas. Like Jerusalem's Up being the precursor to Salem's Up. You know, he kind of had the idea, and I know what it's like because I have
Hmm.
shitloads of fucking crap here that isn't going anywhere right now. I'm fucking have a load of stuff
Yeah.
written down that I haven't. I'm having to do more research and writing at the moment, which is pissing me off because I want to get stuck in. But the world I'm creating, I need to kind of get a look and a feel and an idea and a structure because you need rules. But
Hmm.
that's taking longer at the moment than me actually writing. So I can understand having shitloads of like scribblings and notes and half formed ideas, and then you get down a rabbit hole like, fuck, what am I doing with this? And then you leave it by the
Yeah.
wayside because you know you're beating your head against a wall trying to push it forward. So you leave that, then you start on something else, and you kind of get that point, and then it's trying to get that. And I think that's what that whole Graveyard Shift series is about. It's all the pre-formed ideas he had for some of his future stories. But no, I thought
Yeah, I can definitely get
I
that.
liked Jerusalem stuff.
I mean, I did, but it was, I don't know. It's one of those things where the show turned out better than the book. Just like, say, like 1408. Like, I fucking
Mm-hmm.
Love that movie. The story, eh.
The only thing with Stephen King movies are, I think, because so many of them are done so early on, they do age pretty badly. So, like the Salem's Lot could benefit from
Mm,
a remake,
yeah.
and we'll more likely cover it in the show later on, without a doubt. I think that could benefit
Mm,
just from modern technology, as long as they don't do it. If they keep some practical effects in and don't make it a CGI fest,
mm-hmm,
um, that's all it needs. It's just a wee bit of updating, because when you watch that again, it has aged.
mm-hmm,
Just purely because of the facts. Because they did try to, it seems to be whenever they try to do breaking stuff at the time, it ages terribly. Where when they've got like the stuff, like the
oh
Hammer
yeah.
Horror House stuff we've talked about, they've it looks like a stage
Mm-hmm,
set up, and they kind of went with it, and they didn't try to
mm-hmm,
push the boundaries. When they concentrate on the storytelling, so that's why they still stand up today, because they're not. But when you look at like early CGI stuff, oh
Spawn.
fuck,
I fucking love that movie, but it is
the
not
whole
good. That and Constantine.
I like that's a guilty pleasure. I like Constantine.
Oh, the same. I fucking love it. I'm excited because there's going to be a new 4K release this year, but man, it doesn't hold up well
Oh no,
at
it's cheese.
all.
Like the cheese is dripping everywhere. But
Yeah.
fucking hell, man! It's no. It looks like we're gonna have a good year. Seems to be something. So at
Yeah,
least
I
we'll not
hope.
be
Fingers
struggling every
crossed.
month. Um, I'm contemplating Nightmare Alley. That's out at the moment.
Oh, fuck. Dude, if you get a chance to see that shit in
That
theater, do. And if you get a chance to see it in black and white, one, fuck you, and two, make sure you do. There's not any in my neck of the woods that are going to be doing the black and white screenings, unfortunately. But I've seen like
mm,
some stills from it, and man, it looks like a completely different
yeah, I would have
movie.
to travel over the arty farty side of London for that, and that means going through central London, which is like nah.
Mm,
Nah, have to,
yeah, fuck
you
that.
have to really to go through central London. You need to be motivated.
That's fair.
I'm happy enough being in the
That's fair.
outskirts of a little village. Fuck that.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you get a chance to watch it, check it out. Like, it is amazing. I mean, it's Guillermo del Toro. Like, dude's a fucking master. And just like everybody in that cast is
Yeah, it
phenomenal.
looks. Yeah, actually, that's. I was thinking maybe we'll do that next month.
All right, I'm down. I'll
Happy days. There
gladly
you
pay
go.
to see
Sneak
that
preview.
shit
What we're
again.
doing. We've already planned ahead. Look at that. See, structure, planning. Know what we're doing.
Hey, it's almost like we know what we're doing
Yay!
sometimes.
Give people the wrong impression here. But
I know, right? Suckers.
but on to this month. Let's dive into our horrific release.
Man, I don't know what I was expecting with this
This was
one,
random because we only talked about this last
but
week. The only reason this movie came up is because we're talking about the actress Thomasina McKenzie last week,
mhm.
and me after slagging off people that watch 100 review shows before going to see a movie, and then I was kind of in the same boat going, wasn't too sure or not, and I was like, fuck, I've just become a hypocrite right for watching this movie.
Yeah, this is one that I did sort of kind of want to see in theaters, but it was just like, you know, I don't get to go very often, like not nearly as much as I used to. So I kind of have to be really picky with what I go to see. So this is one that just kind of fell to the wayside because I mean, I love M. Night Shyamalan, but it's a real hit or miss with him. And yeah, this
Yeah,
one
like
a
obviously
bit of a miss for
Sixth
me.
Sense, I still enjoy that movie. That was great.
Yeah, I mean
That
that's a classic at this point.
yeah,
Nobody can argue
Unbreakable was
that.
good. Good show.
Yeah,
Haven't seen
I even
Glass
love
yet,
Split.
but I liked Unbreakable as a standalone movie.
Glass Glass, as long as you have enough separation in between watching Unbreakable and Split,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. I just feel like it was just so, it almost felt rushed because Unbreakable, fantastic fucking movie. Really holds up, just amazing performances. And then you get Split, which is like really intense. And then when I went and saw Glass, it was sort of like, oh, okay. So that's how he's going to finish this trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Cool.
that'll be a Netflix one, I think. No, I mean that'll be.
It's
I'll
good
wait
though.
till it
I would
appears on a
definitely
streaming
check.
service. I'll not go looking for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. The Village. That was a. You know,
I fucking love The Village.
that
I don't care what
was
anybody says. I think that's a great movie.
that was really well done in terms of really until the last you hadn't a clue that it was modern day cult sort of thing.
Hmm.
It wasn't even a cult. It was a major overreaction to grief.
It
We'll
was.
put it like that.
I mean, it was
Yeah, but it
kind
was
of a
kind of, you know, it was
cult.
all done over grief and just
Hmm.
I'm shutting myself away. Do you want to come with me? Yeah, why not? And then kind of became a cult, which was
Hmm.
yeah, a really good movie. And then once again, people being the monsters, always good.
Hmm.
I
Always,
think.
always good.
I wasn't too. Now he made his claim to fame as Slumdog Millionaire, but that was one of those. You know, you had to be cool
Yeah, I
to like
didn't
it, sort of
watch
thing. You know,
that.
it was the cool gang like that movie.
Hmm.
Ray's kind of a bit meh about it. You know, what else has he done? Oh fuck, well not. The Tai Chi movie.
Oh, and he's got
Yeah, the Tai
signs
Chi
and shit
movie.
like that.
Fucking Last Airbender. Yeah, the Last
Tai
Airbender.
Chi.
It's basically a fucking Tai Chi
Oh,
movie.
yeah, I didn't watch it.
God, that was. I tried, and I love post-apocalyptic fucking weird shit, and I know it's based off a cartoon, which isn't really very in depth, but still, when a daily series cartoon has more depth than a movie, you know. Yeah, he is. He's. I think he started off strong, then he got lost to his own fame. If that makes sense. So whenever you're like not challenged anymore, or people, there's nobody there. I think when you lose your advisors or people you can talk to get an honest opinion, and you're told you can just do anything and everything you produce is golden, I think that's maybe where it happens.
Well, and this definitely, like, I started looked over the wife and was like, this felt like an excuse to go on a family vacation, right? It's just like, yeah. I was like, that's exactly what this seemed like. Was just like, I really want to take my family to an island, but fuck, I really got to work. I think I could write something on an island.
About the island. It has
Yeah, it
it
was.
actually seems it's kind of relevant. That's why I brought up Stephen King at the start, because it's, even though it's one of his movies, it's very Stephen King sort of. It's very In the Tall Grass or Children of the Corn type vibe throughout this movie. So that's what I was getting. I was getting Stephen King vibes throughout this the whole series, and that's what kind of stuck with me. So like it's almost inspired. I read up a bit about it. He said it was all due to lockdown and like the whole premise behind it and the things encountered. That's where the island idea came up as well. You know what I mean? Because basically, world went the rat shit for 2 years. Still is, but at least we're sort of seeing a way out of it. But yeah, so basically the premise is we've got Gustav and no, he's the thing. What do you call the couple? You've got this couple family. They're going on holiday. Turns out
I'm looking it up.
Oscar and
Where the hell is it? Sorry, I'm pulling my shit up too.
Guy and
It
Priska.
was
God's
Guy and
Helps
Priska.
if I could write. I've put my notes down, but it's like it's all the weird shit I want to pick out, not the actual plot. Because I'm trying not to be a robot going through plot by plot points. But
Well, the thing is with the plot, it's so light, anyways. Like, here's the entire movie summed up in like 2 seconds. They're on an island. They get trapped on a beach. People die. They leave. There's a Shyamalan twist, and then it's over. Or is it? No, because there's another twist, and then it's over. That's the movie.
yeah, pretty much. That's funny though. Yeah, so I have this couple, and they're all starting off. They're singing. They're on the little bus thing, and that's straight away. If I turned up the resort, and half the fucking staff right there to meet you, and I'm not a rock star, I'm getting worried. Like, when they put up at the start of the resort, that was creepy as fuck.
Yeah, you don't really
No,
see
you get
that
the
too often.
concierge will meet you, or the tour rep will meet you, but you won't get the entire fucking
Hmm.
staff lined up as if it was a fucking state visit.
Yeah.
That's yeah. So straight away you're like, this place is creepy as fuck. These are the bad guys. Like before you even start, these guys are up to no
Hmm.
good. And then we meet Madrid. Now, although she's pretend to be a customer service person, you'd think she'd have some lessons first. Like she's based on your selections. I have made you a drink. Here, welcome to the
Right.
resort. Like,
Yeah, I mean, those look like some bomb ass drinks. I'll say that much.
yeah, but she just didn't
I
want
would
to be
totally
there. She's
take
like,
like
what the
7 of
fuck
them.
am I doing this for?
Yeah.
I'm a villain. Why am I having to be nice to people? But Gustav, he's the proper fucking scary one.
But is she really a villain?
Yeah, she's in it. She,
I mean, that's the question. That's the question at the end.
well, it's actually quite relevant to the Hess world. What we're talking about. Well, we'll get on that in a bit, but you know what I mean.
Hmm.
The worst villains are the ones who think they're doing good. You know what I mean? That's always the best villain trope ever. If you can actually have
Hmm.
the villain genuinely believe they're doing good, then that's rather than just being a psycho for no reason.
Hmm. Well, and that's like always reminds me of a classic line of Sid Haig. It's like it doesn't matter who you are. You have to always imagine that you, as your character, believes that what you're doing is right. Otherwise, it's not going to come across. Like even if you're just heavy number two, like you have to believe that what you're doing is right. Otherwise, it's a bullshit performance.
Yeah, because if you're mob families, you have to be invested in the family. You're protecting the
Hmm.
main, the family member. Makes sense. Because we're
Hmm.
seeing too much the sort of wooden acting, people not giving a shit, and it does come across.
Hmm.
It's like us trying to care about movies. Nah. We love. That's why we're so bitchy about it because that's proper fandom. You're not a proper fan unless you pick everything apart.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. If you don't hate it
Yeah,
afterwards, you're not a real
it's like
fan.
grudge fucking, honestly. But Gustav, he's
Yeah.
a proper psycho. Like, scary German fucking, hey, I'm so happy to meet you. Victims, yay.
Hmm.
Fuckers, come on. I'm gonna personally be there and in your face and wonderful. It's like, dude, you're the main guy. Delegate. You know what I mean? There's something like
Right.
something wrong there. So he meets the family, and that resort, it looks like a fucking lab. Like there's no
Hmm.
life in that resort, and even the board to have the chalkboard with the activities neatly scored out is just so clinical,
Hmm.
and but they're still building the thing as the family move in, and they're still tiling the things
Yeah.
and all, but it just looks.
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty common at resorts, like constantly doing an facelift. Like one that I go to fairly regularly because I'm bougie as fuck like that. Like every time I go there, they're doing something new. Like either they're repainting the walls, they're rebuilding something. Like that's
I
pretty
think over
common.
here the resorts they try to do it all off season, so they try and get everything done
Mm,
off season because of like the mad influx. The last thing they
yeah,
want is builders round about summertime. It's especially the ones in Spain and stuff. It's
that's
just
fair.
don't do it. You know what I mean? That we have like peak season for holidays, and then sort of July, August. So
Hmm.
nothing. If there's even a sign of a builder there, you'd have hotel managers freaking out. Fucking get it finished, money.
Gotcha.
Because it's all about the reviews. Because there's so much competition over here
Hmm.
for the resorts that one bad TripAdvisor review or getting a lower star, it's the difference between getting a booking and not. Hundreds of people and travel, so it just
Hmm.
has to have that. I think
That's
that's
crazy.
the difference over here because of the competition in the resorts and especially Spain and the coastal towns and that. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? No work happens during holiday season when you have guests. That's why the out of season stuff's so cheap because
Gotcha.
that's usually when all the drilling stuff happens. But even at there, even the way they're going about the work, it's just so clinical and like.
Oh yeah.
Already, you come into this place and it's not right. Straight away, you're like, "This isn't right. There's something. This isn't the place to have fun. Something's wrong here." That's what I got anyway, just for the whole thing. And even the people lounging about, it's almost like they were actors. Yes, I know actors in the movie, but they weren't guests. It was like you almost expect them to blow a whistle and everybody stand up who weren't the victims. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you can definitely tell there's a different dynamic between the people that inevitably become the victims and like the other guests to make it not look like a weird trap.
Yeah, and obviously we find out we are genuine guests. It was just like the whole thing's just creepy, and that guy Gustav just like he is something else. He's the type that would stab your family in your sleep and smile at you and make you a cup of coffee. You know, in front of your face.
I mean, fuck. At least he makes.
You know,
coffee,
and I think that's his whole mindset. And it's good to put that in context for the movie because I think he's been one of the most interesting villains, even though there's not much to him or not much screen time to him. Just from that opening scene and the way he is, actually gives him a good dynamic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna see this family. They're dysfunctional. They're about to break up. They go to the hotel. They're settling in for the night, and then the guy and I can't get her name in my head. Priska. It's a weird name.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to try to remember.
I looked her up because I thought she was South African, but she's from Luxembourg. Because it really, really sort of
that makes sense.
I was getting South African vibes on her accent. That makes sense, and but I looked her up and she's from Luxembourg, so kind of makes sense what was going on there. It wasn't Eastern European accent. It was, more sort of Central European. So it kind of mixes up. It's funny when other languages mix with English, and you get the way that happens.
Yeah, it's so funny, like the similarities between certain accents. Like those aren't close places, but it's fairly similar.
It's probably because like South Africa was heavily colonized by the Dutch, which is on the border of Luxembourg. So
that's true.
You can kind of see that, the Afrikaans and why it's closely linked to sort of more Europe than like the UK. Because obviously America has more of a British influence on the English than, but Africa wasn't really colonized. Parts were, by Britain, but it was mainly Europeans that colonized Africa, and you can kind of tell the way that's went with the accent. That's just a weird thing, just a weird thing I get interested in. Just a little side step from the plot of the actual movie, but there you go.
I mean, the plot's pretty light anyways, so we're just adding substance.
Yeah, that was part of my problem with this at the start. It was like, there's not really much, it's a really simple movie. But how long was the runtime? It was only 2 hours.
Let's see. We are looking at.
It wasn't a short movie.
No, that's a sad thing. Like, it was long as fuck. Like, it should have had a lot more going on, but not really much. Where the hell? Sorry, I just had that shit pulled up minutes. Too, and I don't know where it ran off to. Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. It felt longer.
Yeah, it definitely did feel a lot longer.
This could have been a short story, I think. This could have been a Creepshow episode.
Yeah. Easily. And it would have been more Creepshow than most of the Creepshow stuff that we've seen.
Probably budget movie, has to be so long, blah, blah, blah. I get it. When did the scene happen at night with the swimming? What do you call him? The sedan bloke and his...
Yeah, fucking mid-sized sedan. Yeah. Excellent rapper name. So that was right after the first night.
Yeah, that's right. They'd already got the hotel. Yeah, I'm still in context, yeah. Cause
that's when it flashed to it. Which, that fucking bothers me. Because looking back at how the aging process works, because spoiler, people get old. That's the name. Like, how the fuck did this son of a bitch not already be dead when everybody got there, because this is presumably the night before all the other couples that were there went
Yeah.
to the beach. So by all accounts, his ass should be dead, or at least ancient as fuck by now.
Yeah, it didn't. They made a
Like,
joke
once they're
about it
alive, I guess.
during the movie, which I didn't appreciate.
I mean, I giggled, but that was also like, really? That's how you're gonna
No,
fucking
if they had have
explain this?
arrived at
Come
the same
on.
time, yes, that joke would have been in context. But the fact they'd
Mm,
been there and they hadn't sneaked down during the night, so they've been brought there because you can't find this beach. That's the whole point.
hmm
They'd been there overnight.
Well, yeah, I mean,
She was still
there's
young
like
looking,
it's all locked up and
so they'd
shit.
obviously been there all day. He's
Mm.
still young looking. Made no sense.
No,
So
no,
this is
not
the
at
bit that
all.
kind of pulled me out of the whole movie. There were there were two characters that just didn't need to be there. I know there may be better premise, you know, next time in the find the body and stuff, but like it served no
Mm.
purpose really, apart from making you go what?
No. Yeah, it was. He wasn't necessary, other than to have what's her bucket like fangirl for a second, like, oh my god, that's mid-sized Dan, cool, and that's a rock over
Yeah,
there.
and also the resort. Obviously, spoilers, etc. The resort's in on it. This isn't by accident. This is by design. Why the fuck would you
Mm.
bring famous people? You want to stay under the radar, so you're not going to bring somebody even
hmm
remotely famous who has a following, or people are going to ask questions. You're not
Yeah.
going to do that.
Well, and especially with the extent, and I mean, of course, this is all stuff we find out towards the end of the movie, but like they went through some great extents uh, to pretty much cover everybody's existence there.
Writing hard
Like
drives and
Priska was going through it, and she got the information from a fucking hospital receipt. They picked them up from their house. It was a private jet. They packed all their belongings and shit. Like they did everything possible to make as little of a paper trail as possible. So this family just essentially disappeared. So yeah, why would you be like, oh, hey, mid-sized sedan, who's apparently some famous rapper? Why don't you come on over here and die for us?
yeah, yeah. That's my major bone of contention about this. You know what I mean? The movie's watchable. It's good.
Mhm.
It's good enough. It's simple.
I
No,
would never watch it
it's
again.
well. I had to watch it a couple of times to get.
I feel like I was very ripped off by paying a buck 61 for this,
I paid £3.
but
That's about $6. Fucking rentals.
yeah, fuck that. I had to go through all my Redbox coupons so I could get the DVD
I
cheap.
rented it on Amazon, but
So yeah.
still, I wasn't buying it.
Mm,
But yeah, that's a bit that pulled me out of all this. I was just why made no sense.
mm,
And then we have Trent, the young lad, and this is another thing. And Ablib, the young boy, who Gustav's the scary uncle to. Like that was a bit of a weird dynamic as well.
mm.
So he's no other family, but they make a friendship. And it was a good way to use Trent. So obviously he's some neurodeficiency syndrome, possibly on the spectrum or something. So the only way he can introduce himself is,
Mm-hmm.
"Who are you? What's your occupation?" So there was a good way to get exposition out of the way in like about 2 minutes. Just walk around the entire, just have him run
Oh
around.
yeah. Well, and it was funny too. So like it doesn't seem like it was
No, it
so
worked.
heavy-handed. I mean, you realize that it was really important towards the end of the movie, but yeah, it was a
Mm.
joke in the beginning.
But it worked, and it was a good way to get exposition without. The thing I liked about this movie is there wasn't loads of exposition and explaining and stuff. It was a slow burner, but it did keep the pace. So
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting. But then we have Iblib, and then Scary Gustav's like, "What are you doing talking to that child?" I mean, you may as well go and put a.
Yeah, he like tells him, "Oh no, you have to hang out with
That
these
was the other one.
kids.
They're
They're
okay to hang
safe."
about with because they're gonna live. It's like, fuck off. That's messed up. Like, this guy Gustav, he is something else, I have to say. I don't know if M. Night meant to write him that way, or it was by accident, but he did a good job creating a psycho.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry, a wee bit of a cough there. Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan, he plays the bus driver. That was...
Yeah, I thought that was going to be just a real quick cameo. I didn't realize he was going to be a part of the movie.
Yeah, that was interesting. And he's been a complete dick. I'm not carrying your bags. Go. Like, I don't know. I'm sitting in the bus there. Oh, we've got a secret beach you're going to, and it's fucking gates and locked and do not enter and fucking... And then the guy's like, fucking, I'm not carrying your bags. I'm staying here and getting on the bus. I'm expecting raptors. Do you know what I mean? I'm expecting fucking raptors or fucking something. I'm thinking I'm getting fed to something. And that's exactly what it was like. There you go.
Right, and how fucking stupid do you gotta be? Like, rule number one, if you go to a resort, any excursions you do, you have to be with somebody. You have to be with a local. Because fuck that shit. Oh no, it's cool, man. Just walk that way a bit till you find a canyon, walk through the canyon, and you're there.
Egypt's the worst place. Fucking go to Egypt, right? And if you don't have a guide, or you step off the beaten track, right, you try and go around the pyramids, you're gonna get fucking mobbed by the camel drivers, right? They fucking come at you hard. And what they do is they get you on the camel, and then they basically try to keep you going to get all your money off you. It's fucking, you know what I mean? These people will eat you alive. Where else is fucking really bad? Greece has gotten bad. Flat shit haven't been there in ages. God knows, what's it? Thailand? Is that either Thailand or the Philippines? Like, they have people will get you on the street, and you know the little taxi things, little 3-wheeler taxi cab things. They have a whole network where they'll get you on one of those things, take you halfway across town, and basically try and just take everything off you. So if you go anywhere and you don't stay with the resort, you're fucked, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like us, we go to Mexico, and it's every time we go there, there's usually bodies washing up on our beach, like headless bodies, because, well, they stepped too far off the beaten path, and the cartels got them. It's like, you just got to be smart wherever you travel.
Fuck. So, and plus the fact they had to carry their own belongings, like, the beach would be set up, they would have the what do you call it, the beach breakers and all, you know what I mean, the beds and all there, and the deck chairs, you know, they'd have that all set up.
Yeah.
So here you go, bye, little, you know what I mean, if you didn't get vibes of, I'm a lamb to the slaughter here, it's fucking something wrong, like, you deserve it.
Well, and then, you know, the amount of food that was given to them, it's like, you're going to be there for an afternoon. Why the fuck do you got this thing that weighs more than one of your kids?
Yeah, kids get hungry. He. It's like, fuck it. No. I just like, now I'm going to go back to out of
that shit
like
was
me,
funny.
Once something becomes too good to be true or suspicious or a drama, I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah.
So the fact that these people...
Dude, I wouldn't fall prey to this shit anyways, because, like, when I go to a resort, everybody else wants to go party and do cool shit. I'm like, fuck you. I'm going to stay right here in this chair, get drunk, and read some books.
I can't even read outside. I don't get sunbathers. Because I can't sit on a deck chair with the sun beating down on me, try to read, because the sweat just comes through my eyes, and I'm like, oh, I just get uncomfortable. So I'm either in the pool, you know where you have the poolside bars? So I'm there because I'm staying cool on the edge, or I'm in the sheltered bit, and that's me. I'm just there to eat and drink. Yeah, I mean, I'm all inclusive. Eat and drink. That's me. Just fucking leave me alone.
Yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
These people, I never understand these people that travel to meet random strangers and to go through bars and stuff. It's like,
yeah,
why? I don't talk to people. I hate it. Like, if I'm in a group of people and some random fucker comes in, I'm like staring daggers. I'm like, who the fuck are you?
Oh yeah.
Trying to insert yourself in our conversation. That happens all the time back in Belfast. Fucking people just randomly come up and start joining your conversation. Like, who the fuck are you? Piss off. So I don't get that. You know what I mean?
It's totally not.
It
weird.
takes, like, even worse now. Like, I don't think you'll ever see me in a resort again or anywhere. I'm fucking done with traveling. Seriously, I'm just like fucking, especially in this world, fucking you don't know where if you're getting back or not. So I'm like out, but yeah, these guys are just lambs and slaughter. Oh, we didn't talk about the epilepsy scene. We meet the
Yeah, that was pretty good.
yeah.
And just pulls that shit off real well. Sorry to ruin
the thing
everybody's
is,
breakfast. Always got to be the center of attention.
I'm trained in first aid, and epilepsy is one of the things you cover. So somebody's having a fit, clear everything. You just sit by their head, hold their head, make sure they don't thrash about, and that's it. Nice and quiet and calm. So you have a nurse and a doctor who are both fucking morons. It's like,
well, and especially a nurse that's fucking married to her. Like when you're with somebody in any sort of relationship that has any sort of like seizure issues, you know how to take care of them real
and
fucking
not make
fast.
a scene about it. Just we're okay for a minute, quick.
Yeah.
And the thing's always what I was taught is like a coat or a blanket just over the mid parts in case things let loose for dignity. You know, that's basically it. You know, and you just stay by the head and you just we're okay. Just make sure nothing there to kick or knock over. Job done. Not is there a doctor? Hey, somebody help me! Just fucking you two deserve to die. And that doctor, fucking hell. He's one of them. You know, you'd picture him. Is it safe? Fuck it, you know what I mean? If you're in a hospital with him, fuck that. I'm out the window. I'll cure myself. I'm good.
Right.
Like he proper scared the shit out of me.
That was fucking stupid.
Like even from that scene. So that was those two characters set up and the doctor. And then they're all arriving on the beach and this is good family therapy, okay? Because if your family's fucked up and then you meet an even more fucked up family, you can just go, we're not so bad. That's actually good family. I mean, the best way to deal with your own problems is meet somebody more fucked up than you, because then you're like, do you know what? I'm actually okay. I'm good.
Yeah, it could be
so
worse.
You have this doctor who's a fucking complete Fruit Loop. You have the trophy wife, who is a fucking pointless sack of meat.
Is she really a sack of meat? Because it doesn't look like there's much there.
Like, what do you call them things? Twiglets or something? Or fucking, like, meat in a stick? Like a pepperami. She's not even a fucking pepperami. Has more carbs.
There you go. Yeah.
I was trying to think something across the Atlantic. High fucking E-number snack that represents this fucking creature, honestly. So she was horrendous. Like, I hate those eyelash things. That's just immediate turn off. Those eyelash extension things are just fucking horrible. Whoever thought that was a good look, have a word with yourself. And there's nothing there. You know what I mean? She's trying to flaunt it, and there's nothing to see. It's like, and the way even the way they did the makeup and stuff is just fucking horrendous. There's fucking Instamongs that have more presence. So we meet this family. The grandmother seemed okay. The wee dog, she seemed okay. Harmless enough. But these two are cretins. So I think all of a sudden you see the other family just feeling better about themselves. Like, fuck, glad we're not those Egypts. And then this is where we're talking about earlier on. Fucking mid-sized sedans just fucking sitting there. Like, not even reacting that a whole bunch of people come in. Or not, you know what I mean? Just... Or people come through, not even a stop, or... Like...
Yeah, it just doesn't give a shit until his girlfriend's body's
and it's
found.
like, even the... Like, I don't know what the best character is. The music. That was just something. When you see them arriving, and then they have like subtle clock ticking as they arrive onto the beach and get set up. That was quite cool. Don't know if you picked up on that. Yeah,
I didn't even notice that. I guess.
Well, you know me, I like sound effects and I play about the episodes and music and stuff. So having that clock ticking effect as they go on the beach, I thought was really clever. That's just a wee nerdy thing I picked up on. Whether it was intentional or not, but it worked, and that's what I saw it as. So that was cool. Yeah, this is where we finally things start coming to head because they're all set up and they're doing their thing. I don't know. It was a bit of
Mm-hmm.
a brain fog bit until the body turns up.
Well, so they were just fucking around. The way the body's
Yeah,
found is the kids are playing hide and seek with the doctor's daughter, and then Trent ends up getting bumped
yeah, and he
into
made
by the body.
the good comment about no fish, and the fact as well,
Mm-hmm.
like that was ominous. The minute you go through this thing, no wildlife. Like you hear all the wildlife and then it stops.
Mm-hmm.
Like we still got our monkey brains.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's for the length of the movie. I says they could have done a wee bit. Thrown a few hints of that's not right because law of the jungle. And once everything goes quiet, there's a predator. You know what I mean? That's usually the
Yeah.
signal. So the fact that everything went quiet, you'd be like I don't know doubt. Like honestly, there's so many red flags leading up to this thing. They wouldn't. I don't care. They wouldn't have got me on that beach.
Yeah, no, everybody
Yeah,
there
sorry,
deserves
fuck
that.
them. But like this is
Straight up.
these are like high school kids. This is almost like a slasher movie without it being a slasher. Well, it is partly a slasher movie actually.
Yeah.
He did make it one. We'll get on that in a bit, but yeah, there's so many fucking red flags here. Then yeah, the body bumps up. Mid-sized sedan appears, and he said his real name later on, but I actually forgot it and didn't care. Like,
Yeah, I don't
honestly.
remember.
And then the doctor. How can you not tell the difference between a nosebleed and a punch in the face?
Right? Yeah, I didn't understand that. It was pretty obvious the dude has some sort of
Like,
bleeding disorder, which of course it's explained
yeah,
afterwards.
but this is supposed to be a trained doctor, a surgeon, chief. I mean, he rattles off all his shit. Chief medical officer.
But he's also like the reason why he's there is he's losing his shit. Like he's starting to show early signs of dementia and stuff.
Yeah, actually, it was a bit more than that. I thought it was Alzheimer's. I thought it was
Or
Alzheimer's, but it
whatever,
turns out
same
he's
fucking
fucking just
thing,
completely psychotic, which a complete psychotic breakdown. Like it wasn't even fucking if buts or maybes. It was straight there. Yeah, but nosebleed and the nurses went. Oh, when did they pop up? The nurse and Priscilla or Patricia? Sorry, no,
Priska
Prisca's the other one. Patricia's
or
the
Patricia,
counselor.
yeah. Yeah, no, they arrived after,
Oh, after right.
The body was found. Like as they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do with the body, that's when they show up. Like, oh yeah, we just got dropped off. You guys probably won't make it back to the van by the time
Right,
it's gone.
Yeah, but even he's like, because the guy's nose is still bleeding. He's like, nobody's like, that's a nosebleed. Fuck, what are you at? And then they keep referring to the doctor, Charles. They keep referring to him as an expert, and he's already demonstrated that he's off his rocker and not to be trusted.
Yeah. Well, and like everything that they go to him for, it's like shit that doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, because Priska finds out what he is. Like, he's specifically a cardiovascular surgeon. And then she's like, look at my kids. What the fuck's going on with my kids? How the fuck is he supposed to know? He slices people's hearts open and fixes them.
Yeah, specialist in an area. But that's the thing. I've noticed that with people as well. If you mention you're anyway medical trained, you become a shaman because people want a quick answer. And my mum's the worst for it. Actually,
of course.
Because when I was, I did medical training when I was in the army. You know what I mean? And it's basically fucking plugging holes. In, you know what I mean? Plugging holes in people. That's about the extent of it, and putting tubes in. I'm not a fucking GP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm the basic fucking keep somebody alive till somebody qualified comes and does it. But that in my mum's mind means I get all these random questions about stuff, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. And that's what people are like that. You know, it's a funny tale in society, and I'm maybe making this movie deeper than what it is, but maybe just my rambling brain at the moment just picking so much out of this and making me think of people are like that. The minute somebody, some sort of authority figure, people bleat and want everything answered for them. and don't want to think for themselves. That's just me fucking roughing here.
Well, the thing I don't get either too is like, why the fuck would you even go to him? Like, he just experienced some traumatic shit prior to everybody starting to visibly age.
Yeah,
like his
right.
mom dies, and he tries to save her, but he can't because she's fucking gone. Like, you don't
And it's
ask
obvious
him
he's got
shit.
the worst bedside manner on the planet. You know what I mean? So it's like, nope. Like, I wouldn't go near him, but then that's, you know what I mean? Once again, I'd still be alive in this movie. So, I'm good in that respect. Fucking hell, like, this is where the movie kind of... The way they try to figure things out, I think his character... He's another one that... Do we really need him? Was he adding to the story or taken away from it?
Yeah, he was the agent of chaos. Every time they thought they could figure out a plan, he shows up and starts slicing and dicing motherfuckers. Which, this fucking knife that he has, holy shit. Like, I've got some really nice knives that I'll carry on me. None of them are that fucking sharp. Like, I just realized we skipped over the whole fucking surgery scene.
We'll have to...
Because, Priska, apparently the reason why she's, they're getting a divorce, the reason why she's there, and the reason why they're all hush-hush, is she's got a benign tumor, supposedly benign. And, of course, being on the beach, it fucking progresses, like, really, really fast. Gets to the size of a cantaloupe by the time they pull it out. But, they're like, it's like, okay, let's cut her open. Cut. Okay, let's get that tumor. What? It closed up? Holy shit. Okay, guys, stuff your hands in her open gash.
We've already talked about
I'll pull it out.
We'll get the infection later on in the movie, but nobody washes their hands. He doesn't even do the like. If he even had done the lighter thing on the blade, and it's fucking stabbed the sand and shit.
Mean,
with it. He was like,
they had some mini bottles of like vodka or some shit. They poured that on her, so I mean that's something. I guess
inside, you know what I mean? Sorry, washed outside, but your fucking dirty hands and a fucking dirty knife, and you're like.
Yeah, well, she must have a hell of an immune system.
This movie is like walking through sand. Let's be honest. It was a hard one to keep focused on. I remember just the way that was set up and throwing stuff in.
Well, and it's like there was so much shit going on, but not really. Like, this is a long fucking movie for not a lot of story.
It's a plot and not a plot at the same time. It was,
well, it's like ultimately everybody ends up dying because of the disease that they have, which they all find out. Like, oh, we're all here because we've all got some shit going on with us. Like, one person in the group, or each group, has something that's going on. And yeah, it's cool because everybody dies in the end, pretty much, except for the two kids. But it's a lot of shit to get to that point, and it's not really that worth it.
Like I said, this could have been a short episode, could have been a creep show episode and done a lot better.
Patricia,
absolutely. Like, I'm actually struggling at the moment. I'm doing a course in therapy, and I'm fucking not motivated. And it's because in my class, I meet people like Patricia. And it's like, fuck, if you've got problems, go and sort it out yourself. Don't go to people like us. Everybody, gather in. We need to discuss what happened. We need to, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Get the fuck. You patronising cunt. She was another annoying pointless character. And once again, back to these two inserts, Sedan and his girlfriend. How does she wash up on the beach? 14 hours later, still perfectly intact. Who died? Was it the grandmother? Grandmother died first, and she just turned to dust. No.
That was the baby.
It was the baby, right? Yeah, because they fucking had a pregnancy and a baby in that as well. Because just threw that shit in.
That was.
How can you go from 6 years old to all of a sudden, I've got a penis? I know exactly what to do with it.
I mean, I mean, it knows what to do with it. You don't. Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm fucking 35 and I still
Yeah,
don't know what to do with it, but it knows
yeah,
its way
it's
around.
takes a fucking hell. But oh right, no, yeah, she goes from fully formed. She's the first one turns to a skeleton, and that's when we see that the whole it's about time and
Mhm.
stuff. But she
Yeah.
should have been fucking algae in the fucking
Hmm.
sea before she even reached the shore. Let's be honest, because of the length of time. So the throwing the whole
Yeah.
time whack thing like completely off. Sedan should have been dead. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? He should have been like 90 years age by that point. You know, on his way out.
Oh, at least. Yeah.
He should have been gone. I know. I feel like I'm kind of rushing, but there was fucking. This is the whole thing was so convoluted, and
The thing is, yeah, there's no fucking real story. Like there's the setup, then there's the fucking 2 hours of kind of cool deaths, and then there's the end. Like there's not much substance
yeah,
to this movie.
yeah. It really is a difficult one. I think we're trying to put more into it than there is because that's basically what happened. Everyone fucking mechanically dies after like scene
Hmm.
after scene, and fucking the doctor goes schizo, and that's the bit that got me because Priska goes and grabs one of the old forks that they'd found, you know, from previous encounters, slices the doctor,
Hmm.
and the rust kills him. So why didn't she
Yeah.
die when the fucking operated him and everybody stuck their fucking
Right.
hands in and didn't even try to clean the wound?
Mhm.
She should have died.
Oh yeah. Well, and plus, like the knife had already been used on somebody else.
Yeah,
Like, because when he first encounters Mid-Sized Dan after the girlfriend shows up, he fucking slices his face. So there's still blood on it. Plus, he's got
yeah,
sand in
that's
his
what I mean. It's
hands and
just
shit. Like,
fucking.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
That's what I mean. I think they tried to throw. I think he tried to throw too much into this movie. If you had done a few pointing deaths, this could have actually worked with maybe just one family. I think this movie could
Yeah.
have been a lot tighter with one family and showed the aging process and scanned it out. But it seemed that he tried to turn it into like a slasher horror flick and fucking rushed it. But the premise of the two
Hmm.
characters at the start didn't fit up with the time, and it just a bit of a convoluted mess. And then throw in the pregnancy as well.
Yeah.
The fucking weaker because the kids, that was the thing. Fucking kids go from 6 year old to uh, 16 and then fully grown adults. And by the way, I had
Hmm.
to look this up because I was fucking having to do this from the screen because Thomasin McKenzie's character is supposed to be 16 in this. And I'm like, I'm not looking because she's fucking got her bops out like fucking in the camera's face throughout this whole movie. Even with a shirt, she's the fucking
Yeah.
shirt open, she's fucking throwing them in there. I'm like, I'm no fucking nonce. I'm no fucking pedo. So I'm like, I need to, right, I had to pause, fucking look it up. Okay, she's 20. Right, that's not so bad. Fuck, that was
Yeah.
bad. You know what I mean? That was fucking, like, Catholic Church making this movie type shit. I mean, you got away with it
Uh,
being the swimsuit at the start, just a kid, growing up, tight,
mm.
made sense. Oh, let me have a spur suit and a thing, puts on a more revealing one, and doesn't button up the shirt, and fucking throws these things in your face the whole movie. It's like, fuck off, come on. That took me right out, because I'm like, I'm not looking at a fucking 16-year-old girl. Fuck off. You know,
Mhm.
I don't get, you know what I mean? I don't get that with fucking movie makers. Why do they think that's cool? In Hollywood, like, fucking, like, let kids be kids. Don't fucking having to, I don't know.
Right.
I find that a wee bit like she's an impressive record on her, give her that, but fucking hell, when she's playing a 16-year-old and stuff, it's just fucking no. Um, Operation Scene, fucking Crystal. Which one was Crystal's the fucking bimbo. Yeah, she was just served
Yeah.
no purpose at all.
Yeah. And her death was pretty
Don't
uneventful.
look
Like,
at
oh,
me.
I haven't had my calcium shake, so bones are snapping everywhere, but they heal instantly. And then she's a tangled mess. It's like,
And that was bringing
nah,
me back to Pet
no
Cemetery.
thanks.
Gloria's character was it Gloria?
Mm.
Who's the sister?
Oh
You know
Christ,
what I mean? In the bedroom,
I
the
can't
whole fucking
remember. Yeah.
Zelda.
Oh,
Yes,
Zelda.
I was the kind
Yeah.
of scenes just not as
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that's what you know. What I mean, that was almost like a pointless horror trope just for the sake of it. Once again, no.
Hmm. That is what it seemed like. Like, oh, we randomly found some matches on the beach that aren't waterlogged. Let's use them in this cave.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seemed very pointless. Like, I get it. It was to show that somebody else was going to die, but yeah.
they put a little torch and just had her
Eh.
like chasing them or something and then breaking apart. I don't know. It's very lazy. I think that's the best thing I can say about this movie. Very lazy in parts. Good idea.
Well, it's like I honestly think if it was shorter, it wouldn't have been as bad because there was so much. And I mean, I'm usually one that like I don't give a fuck. Give me a boring, slow burn movie, and I'm happy because it's story. There's character building and all that shit. With this, it's like we already understand everybody's flawed from the get go. Just give us their cool deaths. Give the kids their moment of, hey, I know how to get off of here, and then end it. Like again, it did not need to be
Yeah,
almost 2 hours.
struggle one. So obviously they alluded that they're being watched throughout this whole thing as well. Trent he picked up on
Mm-hmm.
it. Which added a wee bit of thing, but they never even thought about trying to get. I suppose they're completely surrounded, weren't they? It's like a cove.
Yeah.
I suppose we can skip that, right? So at least Gus and Priska, they as an old age couple, so that was I suppose decent. After we get
Mm-hmm.
rid of everybody else, it leaves them sitting there, dying of old age. Both went quickly with one another, so that was cool, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose. Which, if that had been the whole thing about the movie, then age and maybe reflecting on life and stuff, it might have been better without all the fucking noise and fluff. Because they were the central characters
Mm-hmm.
anyway. I'm glad they didn't do the final girl trope. Because that's what I was worried about. Because they were making. I can't remember her character's name. Thomas and Mackenzie's character, like her central. Like she was 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
No, she was 11. Sorry, she was 11.
Yeah,
Like
she
they
was
were making her as
11.
if she was an old, wise, sage adult, and everyone was going to advice and kind of floating about. It was a bit weird. Where it didn't really have any, purpose. The better thing was them being shocked and not understanding what's going on, but they were having her be the adult in the whole thing. But
Mm-hmm.
once again, pulled me out of it. But at least her and Trent, they both survived. They got the decoded message Iblib had sent them
Mm-hmm.
about the coral. So, yeah, they swam to the coral and then they made that a whole thing. Then we cut the
Mm-hmm.
M. Night Shyamalan's character, Yep. Test 73 complete. And then it goes into the whole plot reveal of why this is all happening. And
Yeah.
I suppose in this day and age, like Big Pharma is a big topic at the moment. And the shit they will do out of no compunction about fucking up the human race over a bottom line and saving time in human trials.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of relevant to today. But once again, Gustav, he is proper nuts. He's like scary person.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Patricia didn't have a seizure for 8 hours. That's the equivalent of 16 years. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking lunatics. Even the moment of silence they had for Test 73, he's fucking smirking, going, he's like, fucking. I know I have no love for people, but fucking hell, this guy's like something else.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, obviously these two escape, and then the next reveal is those two go into the resort. And the police officer would discover from the first one, which was quite cool. Because Trent's character, who are you, what do you do? So, you're a police officer. The book they found with all
Mm-hmm.
the scrollings gave to him, linked to all these people going missing. But in reality, how would that work? you don't just get
Well,
everybody.
and especially with the speed of how fast like the fucking police or whatever showed up, it's like I don't think it
Yeah,
quite
that
works
was a bit
that way.
surreal. Unless they've been watching this place for a while or suspicious about it. Like,
Mm,
sorry, that just you don't just randomly turn up. It's nice little island as well,
no.
so they could cut off phone signals and communication. You know what I mean? There's things they could do. There was well funded setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fucking, like a cracker just goes fizz popped at the end. That was kind of the way it played out. There's no great
Mm,
failure what or it was odd. But yeah, we got it. The pharmaceuticals companies basically using people as lab rats to save time because of the rapid aging process. They test drugs in people, so rather than having
mm,
to wait years, they can do it all in a day. Uh, and I thought that's what the Nuremberg Code was about, that you can't do this sort of shit and use your research because you have to like document every step of the research. So how the fuck did they even get that through? But then we're seeing today that there's lots of dodgy shit going on anyway, and the rules that we thought were in place don't mean anything. So I think it was a bit more telling than what they planned it to be with everything going out at the moment. But
mm.
what do you think overall? Bit of a kind of meh movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I last night I didn't know what to think of it. This morning, like upon thinking about it and talking about it again, it wasn't good. Like it was beautiful. It was very aptly shot. The scenes were fantastic. The deaths were great, but I would never watch
Yeah, it
this
was,
again.
just one. Like I said, we were just talking about it last week. Just the links between the characters and that movie come up. Thought why not? But it had potential. I think that's what bugs me the most. They had the stepping
Hmm.
stones there and potential, but this also shows again how much M Night Shyamalan has fallen. Like he has burnt his creative load. Let's be honest. He started off strong in his career, and now he's just fizzled out. And I don't know what's happened to him, but
So, and in my opinion, he's one of those directors that it's definitely like it's waves. It'll either be really fucking good or really meh. But it's like it varies. And yeah, this was definitely one of the low points.
yeah, it just seems to be recently. He hasn't maybe he just needs to take a wee break and distract himself with something else, get his mojo back. But yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. Fucking bit of a damn squid.
Mm.
But there you go. Suppose we'll go back to a classic then, trying to hopefully redeem ourselves, cheer
Hell
ourselves
yeah.
up a bit, eh?
Oh yeah, this'll do.
Yeah, I think we
And
need to go to a classic.
this one's fucking chicken noodle soup
Absolutely.
for the soul.
What we're talking about obviously is Phantasm. uh,
Hell yeah. 1979 classic.
Only thing is, thing that had me concerned is I watched the remastered edition as fucking Bad Robot, so that man's fucking Jar Jar Abrams was involved. But thankfully, no lens flare,
Hmm.
so we didn't add in loads of lens flare and fuck it up. So
Nope. Only thing they did was just upgraded an original negative to 4K and yeah, good to go. It was actually pretty fucking sweet. Like the first time I actually saw the remastered edition was in a theater with Don Coscarelli. Like that shit was
nice.
fucking cool. Yeah, he is a very, very nice guy. Like you just kind of want to hug him when you see him. He looks like he's a good hugger.
This is one of those movies that has always been with us, and the pop culture references
Hmm.
have always been with us. But we don't see them unless you bought the DVDs. You don't get to see it that often. Like it's one of those ones that's been tucked away, and you have to go looking for it to actually watch. So the casual viewer
Yeah. It'll-
may not have seen this movie. It's quite possible that
mhm.
you have went through the 80s and 90s as just a casual moviegoer or film buff without being a horror fan and not have seen this movie. Just for some reason, they've managed to keep it tucked away. I don't know why that was. Because it doesn't really show on network TV throughout the time. You don't get it. Only recently do we get it in Shudder. And they just got the whole lot. Which I thought was the purpose of Shudder.
Well, that's funny because it's not even the whole lot because 3's not on there. When did they get 3?
Yeah, because I binged the whole lot. Once it dropped, they dropped all 4 of them. Or all 5 of them.
Not stateside.
That side of the pond. So, 3's the fucking trippy one.
Because it's like different licenses. So basically, when we got it stateside on Shudder, there was the whole Joe Bob marathon. And they just kept making jokes about how 3 wasn't in there.
I think there was...
yeah, I think it was 3.
Over here, they have dropped 3, but I think it was like... They dropped all the rest of them first, and then it was a week or two later, 3 popped in. But we have all of them.
I mean, I don't care. I fucking own all of them anyways on Blu-rays, so it doesn't matter to me. Although I was late and I didn't dig it out last night.
The point is that generally, as a normal, like a milquetoast moviegoer, unless you go looking for this movie, you're not going to see it. You know what I mean? That's...
Yeah, no, this shit was super, super independent because, it was pretty much financed and released by Coscarelli himself.
It cost $300,000 to make, and it made $22 million at the box office. That is impressive. Like, when you think of mega companies just flushing money down the toilet at the moment and taking losses over stupidity, and this, like, $300,000, still back in the 70s, not an amount to be sniffed at, but for making a full-blown movie, and then for the return they got, and plus, that was just the box office. The fact that it's become a cult classic and sales of Blu-rays and everything else since, and just the pop culture reference. This is one of those ones that's been a pop culture reference for decades, and I think a lot of people actually refer to it without actually seeing the movie. It's possible. It's entirely possible.
That happens.
It's just that made that much of an impact, which is cool. You know what I mean? It kind of shows the power of this movie. The plot isn't that complicated.
The plot, so I actually wrote this down last night because I think my wife summed it up real well. She said it's like trying to understand Bjork. Well, it's like, yes, that's what Phantasm is. It's like trying to understand Bjork.
Because, she uses the same beats and stuff, but the stuff she comes off with. So, the actual plot itself, the linear...
Oh, I'm just saying, like, how fucking asinine...
The linear movement of the movie isn't really... It moves between, like, 2 locations. The house, the mausoleum, and the stretch of road, and the bar. There's about 4 locations in the entire movie. That's all the plot moves between. But the amount of shit... concepts and stuff to try to cram into this is just unreal, and you can see it kind of tugging at you, this little idea, that idea. So those who haven't seen it, you start off the central character pulls everybody together. Tommy's in the graveyard, he's getting his end away with the woman in velvet or lilac, lavender, the Jazza's term, but fuck, she looks like a robot as well. It turns out,
I mean, that was like one of the most underwhelming sex scenes ever. Like, both of them were like, yeah, this is so good. It's like, I don't think they've ever had sex
you'd have
before.
to be, because that's like it looks uncomfortable, feels uncomfortable, you know what I mean? Just I like my comfort, so that's it just weird. But she's like not even like convincing, and it turned out she's like a metamorphosis of the tall man. She stabs him, which once again doesn't make any sense. They work in a fucking graveyard, and the whole premise of the movie is they need the bodies. They don't need to kill people. And they're fucking shipping stuff in. In fact, the only way this could have been better set up was if they worked at a morgue. Do you know what I mean? Because of they've got the product coming in.
I mean, dead body.
I just mean with more frequency, because obviously crematorium, people choose a crematorium to go to, where a morgue takes everybody from this, for everything. So the only way you would get more bodies
True.
coming in would be to work in a mortuary as opposed to a crematorium or funeral home, whatever it's called over there. That was the only way, to have repeat business. So why he's out stabbing people? Don't know. Just for.
Well, and it's funny too because it somehow him getting stabbed by somebody is labeled as suicide
with a dagger.
Like that's what it went down.
An ornate dagger.
Yeah.
That they did have forensics in the 1970s, 80s. So even the most basic pathologists be able to go, that's a fucking 8-inch blade, fucking right in there. What? That's not a suicide. Weird, but there you go. That was about just bits weird. Also, it's a small town, so everyone would notice the hot girl that randomly turns up, and then people disappearing. Yeah, they'd be looked for in question. It just doesn't. Yeah, that was funny. But that leads us on to how everybody comes together. Tommy's funeral. Then we start seeing Jodie comes back from out of town. Obviously, a wee bit of time spots. Jodie comes out of town. Mike's brother are the two main characters in this. We see Reggie. Everyone's together. Mike is a creepy kid. There's no if, buts, or maybe about it. He's actually creepier than the tall man. The way he gets on. There's something not right there. Also, yous are quite strict about things in America, but no way do you go through a graveyard on a fucking scrambler bike. You would get humped. I mean, you'd be done for fucking desecration of graves. You'd be done for everything. You turn around a graveyard and a bike like that, you're getting everything thrown at you. There's no way.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't go to a funeral, but he fucking rides about in a bike in a graveyard, and nobody. Yeah. Weird how they set this up, but yeah, funeral takes place. Graves there. Mike comes along, brings fucking huge arse binoculars with him because that's what you do as you're riding about.
I mean, how else are you supposed to spy on people without binoculars?
Like I said, he's creepier than the rest. But then that's where we see I think one of the most iconic scenes is.
Oh yeah. Fucking Angus Grimm picking that shit up and just throwing
and
it
the way he
in the back
does it, his whole, he looks awkward in his own body, and I think his look, the clothes, the way he moves, is just brilliant for this character. Just whoof, he scared the shit out of me. I wouldn't tackle that bloke, honestly. And that's what you see, and then that's Mike shits himself. But because he's a creepy kid, he tries to go back to Jodie to tell him. Jodie's like, "Would you get away from me, you wee nerd?" And then he's at it loose that he's going to palm him off to an aunt or something.
Yeah.
But then the question is, what's he been doing? Because their parents were long dead. He's been away, so who's been looking after Mike? They didn't really go into that.
Just Mike. I mean, he's got a house. He's got a fucking mantle place full of guns. What else does a kid need?
Partly, yeah. God, I love the way these movies paint life out to be simple. And I love the way they always have people with money problems living in huge houses. Loads of shit. And 2 cars, 3 cars at the door. But we've got money problems. Yeah, okay. Yeah. The start of this, until the pace picks up in the movie, it's a bit strange. Because it's all about Mike and Jodie, and Mike following around like a creepy kid and running after him like somebody demented. It's like, really? Then, obviously, Jodie doesn't believe Mike. Mike decides to go back and get evidence. So, of course, what do? You go to the mausoleum at night time. Because
I mean, that's
that works
the most
out
logical
best for
thing to
anybody in any horror movie ever. That's always the way to go. But it was funny. So obviously he's trespassing. The caretaker tries to grab him, which is another thing. How much it's either brilliance or stupidity about the tall man. He's been there. How much of a shit he doesn't give about people. But this is where we get the introduction of the spears. the spheres, and obviously I think she was going after Mike, but then kills the janitor.
Yeah.
And once again, we'll talk about
so
this
good.
in Suspiria. This is where the 4K upgrade maybe does a bit of a disservice to these movies.
I mean, just a little bit. The piss is really crisp.
That
Like,
was
great,
actually a really
but
good
the
touch.
actual,
But the red paint,
but you see all the fucking latex coming off and shit.
yeah, that's where it's okay transposing these things to 4K, but I think you need to kind of go over it and maybe put in a filter at certain points. Because
I don't think so.
With the whole dog scene, like the original mist and the graininess covered that up, but then when they digitize it, it brings it all out, like, you know, special effects. So I think I need to maybe figure out, just fine tweak. It doesn't really need much work, but just a wee over scenes of gap. I think I need to put a bit of a filter over. So that's why they do all the dark colours now. That's why everything's got that monotone hue, is because working with colour is really difficult in movies. So by dulling everything down, they don't have to spend as much on the effects. So maybe during that scene, slightly hue it a bit, so you don't see the red paint like spitting out of the fucking tube.
Oh, fuck,
It was
love
funny,
that shit,
I
though.
have to admit.
The really bad.
But in the
blood,
original,
yeah.
it looked better because it was grainy or not. It was all hidden. But yeah, him lying and the piss coming out, that was clever. That was just adding a little bit of effect that you didn't need. You know what I mean? Could have got away with it. Every other movie, body just drops, but they just added the whole horror of this. The chase scenes are hilarious. Like Mike running away from the tall man, because I haven't really thought about it until recently, but trying to do a chase scene in camera must be really, really difficult. Like trying to hold that focus and shit. You've only a short space. You want to catch the whole atmosphere. So to do that isn't easy. And plus, they didn't have the frame rates that we do now. I mean, was that 8mm or 35? So I was shot in, shot in film.
I'm not sure what they filmed on. I don't think it says, actually.
But you know what I mean? It was done in film. You're limited. So the way they managed to get the atmosphere, and, Angus Scrimm's just brilliant. That's like the tall man, and I think the way they have got it that he's not in his own skin, that's the effect they had with us, and it works beautifully. He is just awkward. That's why, because in reality, he should have been able to just catch him straight away. But this guy isn't built for speed. Strength, not speed.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, speaking from experience, running in hills like that, not the most easy thing to do.
They even extended those hills. Like, he was 6 foot. He's a tall character anyway. Tall person anyway. But they even put him in extended heels just to give him that more gravitas. So, really, really well done. This is a character that really pulled off. It was just a shame. I think this movie was underrated, and I think it's had a cult following, but I think it should have got more of a mainstream following than it did. And I think it's one that's just sat on the edges throughout the time, and really people should get into this and appreciate it. So we'll have him chasing Mike. He slams the door, cuts off a finger, and then I start seeing these dwarf creatures as well in the hoods, like fucking rabbit jawas or something, He gets back to the house, and it's only when he shows a finger still fucking moving about and stuff, and Jodie finally comes on board. That was actually quite cool, the way he switches from "you're nuts" to "oh shit, right, we got to do something."
Yeah, it's like immediately like, "Oh yeah, no, I believe you now."
Yeah,
this
okay, right.
crazy.
That's.
And then for no reason, it turns into a fly or a giant fly with teeth.
Yeah, that was like, what was the point? This is where they kind of messed up. That's where all these elements are thrown in. And I don't think they quite decided what the tall man was. I think that was the problem.
No, it was pretty clear. He's a interdimensional, shape-shifting, time-traveling demon or something.
Okay. That's...
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious.
He could have been a necromancer. It wasn't until later on that the whole dimension shifting thing came into, you know what I mean? This starts off, this is a pure...
No, that was...
Until we see the spheres, this is a pure horror, necromantic, demonic movie. Then when the sphere appears, then it goes into sci-fi realm. But the whole shape-shift and the yellow blood, that's when it's something else, do you know what I mean? You know that this guy he's not human, but there's something not there. But the shape-shifting into a bug and then terrorizing them, like, I don't think it even had stinger or anything. You know, if it had a stinger or something I could understand, but it was just a fly.
No, it had some giant gnarly teeth. That's how it bit.
But then this is how we get Reggie invested, you know, brought in. Because they thought they got it down the waste disposal and then it jumps up again and then, oh shit, okay, right, we're all going to the cemetery, going to kick some ass. Yeah, so they try to get Mike shift off and then bring these other two characters in. Sort of standby. Was that I was like in a cult bookshop, wasn't it? I went to.
Curio it was type? Like a almost like a thrift store, antique store type thing.
Yeah, it was a bit of an interesting distraction, but that's you know what I mean. They try to get Mike deposited off safely. They discover Tommy's body. He's one of the creatures. Then they realise what's going on. The dots get connected. They go to try to get...
Well, and even before then, like the catalyst to go, like, and inevitably find Tommy's body was Mike's running through the curiosity place, comes across a picture of the tall man, but as like an old school hearse
that's right.
driver, or
1920s or something.
Taker or whatever. Earlier than that, I'd imagine. But yeah, like that's when he's like, "Fuck, we got to get out of here." And then that's when they come across Tommy. Well, Tommy's truck.
Yeah, sorry, gotta gets a wee bit convoluted between this part and them going to actually deal with it, because there was a stick in Tommy's body in the ice cream thing, and then trying to take him away, because they go back and forth to the house and stuff, and like there's a bit of jiggery pokery goes on. Isabella thought I had a bit of trouble. I've watched this quite a few times and still have a bit of trouble getting my head around the timeline events of this section, because the hearse comes after the girls with Mike. They come after Reggie. What happens to Jody at this? Doesn't he go straight to...
Jody's at home just hallucinating.
It gets a bit, you know what I mean, it gets a bit much, this sort of section, until they all end up at the mausoleum again. So yeah, they've got more of the demon dwarf things, and fuck, they're attacking cars. The hearse is driving by itself. Fucking, you know, just goes back bonkers for a minute. Then we kind of get all the characters together. Then they start to try and find out what's going on. That's where we discover the room with all these barrels. The portal, which is just like, fuck is this? So it goes from demonic horror to pure sci-fi. And those, I like one of those actually. I like miniature versions of those with a wee light up thing. I think having a wee rack of those dotted about, they look really cool. Like when you think about back when it did that was a really cool effect. I was impressed with those. Yeah, Mike opens the portals, has a look through, sees this fucking wasteland. It looks like Mars. You know what I mean? I was getting kind of Mars vibes from it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's where we realise the tall man isn't quite... He's not a demon. He's an alien.
Yep.
And that's where it just starts... That's where this franchise, I think it's just... has so much going on, it's hard to wrap your head around. Especially as the sequels delve into more of the different aspects. It just goes like it's trippy. Let's be honest. It's 70s trippy horror type stuff. But yeah, what point do we get on? Yeah, counter Toman, his fears again. Oh, I've done that. Once again, it just goes. I'm trying to think what happens next. Do they try and blow the place up or something?
Yeah, and they end up getting out of there, and then they meet up on a
That's when they
cliff.
set the trap, yeah. But when they go there,
Yeah.
the tall man appears as the girl in lavender again, stabs Reggie, because why does he need to shift into her? You know what I mean? He could have just done it himself. Because he was able to sneak right up on her, so didn't make sense. I think you just need to, obviously, want to give an actress another shot. Give her another couple of scenes.
Well, and it was an easy way to get Reggie to trust him and inevitably get murdered by him. Or
like,
try.
The small brain thinks for Reggie, but we'll discover that quite quickly. Yeah. What I don't get is when Reggie activates the portal, because when Mike did it, he just fell through. And then Miles escape. He saw all the bodies are being used as like slave labor, and like this guy's building an army or something with these, using human beings to. And we never quite figured out does he insert another personality? Does he just shrink them down and make them automatons? Not quite. Didn't quite get that explanation with it, but he's doing something with the bodies. He's making something else out of them, and they're his minions. When Mike opens a portal and goes through, that's fine. But when Reggie then opens the portal, everything starts getting...
Well, it's different because they're not... So Mike didn't open the portal. The portal was already open. Because, I mean, essentially it's working like a tuning fork, which that's why Reggie had one at the very beginning of the film. So he just falls through it because of the vibration of the tuning fork. And what Reggie ends up doing is he's trying to silence the tuning fork to find out, what the fuck does this do? And then that's when the chaos ensues. Like, it's almost like trying to rupture the portal and then it reacting negatively. So that's when the wind and all that shit happens.
Yeah, like I said, this is one I have trouble wrapping my head around certain parts of it. I'll not lie. And I'm not pretending to be all knowing. It's like, I couldn't quite figure out, like, what's the difference? And why all of a sudden did it go? And I know it's not just a plot device, because there's a lot of ideas and concepts in this movie. So, unlike the last one we're talking about, which just seemed to be a lot of filler, this one isn't. This is a really massive, massive, massive idea crammed into a movie. And hence why the franchise goes in so many different directions, because there's so many different ideas, which I think might be its detriment in a sense, because there is a lot to take in. If they had maybe stripped it down a bit, I think the whole sequels would have flowed better. But because it's so much going on, they're trying to give each idea its bit of space. It is a tricky movie to follow. Doesn't mean it's not fun, because I love this movie.
Yeah, no, this is something I watch at least 2 or 3 times a year.
You watch this again and just go and really enjoy it. And even just to switch your brain off and not think about it, it's a good movie to watch. To think about the certain elements, it's a good movie to watch. You know what I mean? It is a classic. There's no if, buts, or maybes about it. The only thing that takes me out, so... sorry, excuse me. Jodie then goes to try and... Yeah, because they go to the mausoleum, they come back from the mausoleum to the house, then they go to the mausoleum again. This is where it's... Is that what happened? Yeah,
I mean, at one
back
point,
and forward.
yeah.
It's not like... That's for this thing is also... it's not just a linear... To go from one location and the mausoleum's the end of level body, so to speak, because they go there, they escape, they come back, they go back again to actually finish them off. I'm trying to
Well,
think.
at this point, this is when they're setting the trap for him. Like, after Reggie's been stabbed and Jody and Mike have gotten out of the mausoleum, they're, trying to set up a trap to kill
Oh yeah,
the
with the
Tall Man.
mines. Yeah, it was just a wee bit of, like I said, a bit of
Mhm.
back and forward. They go back to they go twice to the like end of supposedly the end of level, like the place where the plot all takes place. Then that's when the
Mm.
oh shit, right, we got to try and catch this dude. And then they go to the mines, set up the cover, and basically it becomes Predator. The man was like,
Yeah.
basically becomes fucking Predator, where Arnie's run away from the first movie, setting all the traps.
Hmm.
I have to admit though, those polystyrene rocks are hilarious.
Oh, they're totally believable. I
Okay,
don't know
yeah.
what you're talking about.
We'll agree to disagree on that one. Once again, this is the 4K upgrade where it kind of removes. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
They need to. They need to refine this
Oh, yeah.
process. They need to scan over it. What I'm saying is, we don't want the movies changed. What they're doing is they're
Hmm.
digitizing so that, because obviously film degrades, and there's been so many movies lost over centuries now of movie making. It makes sense to do it,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
where the original film, physical medium film, hid the effects, the 4K is bringing it right out into your face.
Hmm. Yeah. Best example is Flash Gordon. That is
That's difficult
difficult
to
to
watch
watch.
anyway.
I mean, it's true. It's very difficult to watch
Go
to
Flash,
begin with,
go!
but it's
Go
even
Flash, go!
worse upgraded.
Fucking, oh my god! Oh,
See, but
thanks for that.
the argument
Thanks
to
for
something
putting that in
like
my
that
mind.
is like, you know, what happens if, like, we all have a problem with George Lucas doing that shit. I mean, granted, he went real heavy-handed on upgrading shit, but it's like, where's the line that it's acceptable and it's
But
not
that's art, you
acceptable?
know what I mean. All I'm saying is you need someone to take a screen across and go, okay, this seems problematic, and I think filters can help. I think having a filter just to tone it down a bit during those type of scenes will help. It doesn't have to be.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be in your face. Yeah, the problem with George Lucas is he shot his load. He shot his creative load
Hmm.
after Return of the Jedi. Let's be honest, and he just spent his time fucking about, going over the same shit over and over again, and not coming up with anything new. And that's was his downfall.
Hmm.
We saw it with the prequels. Like, the fucking, I felt
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, but at the end of Return of the Sith, I felt flat. I wasn't excited for the next. I was just like, fucking. He he ran out of ideas, and then his own hubris. The people he had helping him out at the start, he didn't need anybody. He's doing it all himself. He's the big fucking swinging ding a ling, and that's where these things go wrong. All I'm saying with these type of movies is when you're doing the 4K upgrade, is maybe have a scan over it at the end and a few simple tweaks. Don't change it, just tone it down a bit where it's been brought up
Hmm.
too much. Job's done. Especially when you're using
Hmm.
old special effects, because it does age. And that's where, back to way start of this episode, I was talking about Stephen King, Salem's Lot. That's a film that can do with a remake
Hmm.
because those effects age really badly. Cujo, the effects age really badly. What else? Christine's still a good movie. That holds up.
Yeah, Christine holds up so well. It's
Um,
timeless.
Next to the Green Mile, I know it was a more recent one, but that holds up. That's a timeless
Mhm.
one. The Shining holds up,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but I would argue that's not even really Stephen King. Like, that's just a
yeah.
straight up Kubrick film. Like the Stephen King Shining, that
Oh,
doesn't
the
hold up
series,
very
yeah,
well at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's an odd one. The things he gets upset about, and then the things he thinks, like he got upset about Lawnmower Man, like the point where do not put my fucking
Why
name to
wouldn't
this,
you be upset?
where he made a fucking fantastic movie out of a shit 20-page story. Was it even 20 pages? No, it was about
Uh,
14-page story.
I don't even think
Fucking,
it
you know
was
what I
that
mean? A
long.
tiny story that you couldn't. It would have been a creep show episode, but it wasn't even a good. You know what I mean? It wasn't a good story. Where I can't remember the director's name, but he made it into a much better epic. Now the sequel, we'll not talk about that because that was. Oh fuck! I still haven't seen the whole thing. That's my thing. I get past the tube when he goes into the it was almost like Tron where he gets fucking brought into the land, and I just can't get past. Like, I can't watch the movie the whole way through, and I've got it. It's all over streaming. You can watch it if you want, but fuck, I can't. I can't get past a certain point, past the subway scene, because it's a painful movie to watch. But the original one with Pierce Brosnan, that was great, and great concepts for the time, and we're still messing with VR now, so that still holds up today. But Stephen King got really upset about that movie because it wasn't true to his shitty 10-page story that was actually pretty awful. Which you've read it, haven't you? Yeah, so fucking man takes his clothes off and eats fucking grass, pretends to be a goat. And because the guy sees it, he gets killed. Fuck off. Just fucking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to this movie, they get to that point, tall man chases him, fucking falls into the trap, the fucking Paul staring. I just love them. I think it's great. And the sound effects that don't fit in with the rolling, and the way it just fits perfectly into the thing. Just funny. Loved it.
Oh yeah.
This is the bit that takes me out of the franchise, and I think this is the idea of the concept they should have left out. At the end, Reggie and Mike are sitting together. And Mike just tells them it was all a dream. That, to me, because we have seen enough as an audience, because if you're going to do bended reality, you have to keep the audience guessing. But we have seen the tall man operate. We have seen everything going on. So we know it's actually happening. So to bring that in at the end didn't help. I don't think it really added anything. They should have just went with, thank goodness, at least we can move on with our lives. But I don't know why they killed Jodie randomly. That, I know it becomes a setup for the sequels, the whole interaction between the two of them, but they should have just killed. If they're going to kill Jodie, they should have just killed Jodie. This making it that he died in a car accident and this never happened in your thing, just fucking, I didn't enjoy that aspect of it. It's the only part of the movie I don't enjoy. And it's the only trope that they carry on with the sequels, which I think ruined the franchise. It's something that could have been left out.
Well, it's one of those things that, even in most film schools, they'll tell you, don't ever fucking do that shit where it was all a dream. Because that makes the entire fucking movie pointless.
Now, back to Star Wars. If they do that with the sequel trilogy, please do. Luke Skywalker wakes up and goes, "Oh, what a horrible dream!" Oh, right, and then fucking get back to basics. That'll be okay in that respect. Please do that.
I guess I could.
But in this case, no. It didn't work. It was just it just took out of the whole thing because it didn't make sense. We as the audience know that this is happening. We as the audience have been there, and the other scenes with the tall man and what the shit he's up to, especially the girl in lavender stuff, we know it's not a dream. So to do that with a character didn't make sense. But the ending scene, this has to be a classic of horror movies. Best scene ever. Where Mike goes up to the bedroom. And I love murder scenes. Murder scenes are the best when done right. And just at the end, he just turned around, sees the tall man in the reflection, and it's just like, boy!
Yeah.
Brilliant. And actually, they could have left the movie there and not made any sequels. And that, this movie, it is, we're still talking about it fucking 30 odd years later. Brilliant. Like I said, my only complaint is that scene where they made it all a dream just was weird. It didn't fit in. And then they tried to play with the concept throughout the sequels, especially in the third one, The third one, they really played a hard nut. Was it all a dream or was it real? And it was a direction that had more than enough material to play with to do about 20 movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many ideas and concepts in this. There's 20 movies worth of material to mess around with. They didn't need to bring that element into it.
Oh.
No. Yeah, I was even fucking coughing and sorry folks, we're sick.
Yeah, I love it.
We're sneezing and coughing and blurting and blah. Because that's how professional we are.
Yeah.
But all in all, this is a classic. I love this movie. And apart from Ravager, even the franchise, like the direct sequel to this, Part 2, brilliant. The way they did that there. The third one is where it starts getting really trippy and bringing in the heavy trope with the distorted reality, which I think kind of ruined it. Fourth one, can't remember the fourth one. What was it mean?
Yeah, I don't remember the fourth one.
I need to watch it again. You can check them out in Shudder anyway, folks. They're all there. I think it's another. I think maybe next week it'll be another binge session. Just get stuck in.
Yeah.
But all in all, let's happy I watched this again. Happy we did it for the show. Any final thoughts?
If you haven't seen it, you're fucking stupid.
That's a fair one. Like I said, this has been on the fringes. You know what I mean? It's always been on the fringes of pop culture reference. You could always buy the things, but I don't think that, you know what I mean? More people need to see this movie and actually need to explore this franchise because...
I mean, so much of Coscarelli's filmography is like that, though. Like, a lot of shit has been slept on. Like, Bubba Hotep, that one is one of his greats. And I talk to people that don't know about it. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That one's great.
Yeah, it's a shame. We'll hopefully rectify it. we'll start getting the word out there and get people on board. But yeah, suppose I'll just wrap up just by saying thanks. Obviously, bit of a late start this month, just with holidays and world falling apart and shit going on with work and stuff. But thanks very much to our authors, Steve Thompson and Alison Armstrong, who submitted material for January. Two great stories. Glad to have you on board. Steve, obviously, a returning officer. He's given us a few items now. So always good to see people getting involved. If you want to get involved, get in touch with go to our website or our social media page. We've got all the links there, how to get involved in the show, put them all in the show notes as well. Always happy to have more artists on and more returning artists to Horrorific Tales. We'll be back at the end of next month, and I think we're going to do Nightmare Alley, and I'm sure we'll find one or two more things to talk about, without a doubt. Haunted Grove will appear at some stage, I think, during the month. Yeah, it's just going to be a random ad hoc thing, and it'll either be Adam on his own doing something, or a combination of the three of us, or all three of us. It'll be just random shit that appears. We'll throw out there. It won't just be movies. It'll be games, books. We'll do something. We'll just need something to do random, just to have fun. And also, somebody with a stable internet connection. Although I finally got myself a PCI card. I've done all my tests and finally got my computer moved to an optimal location. I'm moving my router. I've changed my channel. So far, things seem to be working okay. So I hope that problem's resolved.
Hey, shit, if we don't have an echo this time, this is like the best episode we've ever recorded.
I might even try streaming this live again at some stage. But baby steps. Let's get episodes without things breaking down.
Yeah.
If we start getting these out on a regular basis again, then we'll jump to the next level. But in the meantime, we've got Haunted Grove. We'll do live streams randomly, and we'll take it from there. So, last thing to say, folks, just as usual, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.
Keep it horrific.